Well, howdy, partners. Welcome to the Pine Box.
Yes, welcome. Welcome, you dirty, dirty fucks. You dirty bastards. Sorry, I'm fucking with the mic here. Yeah. The fuck is up, dogs? I have the fan running again, cause, dude, let me just tell you. I'm fucking over this heat wave. I'm fucking over it. I want it to be done. You know? It's just a serious inconvenience. If I wanna go anywhere, if I wanna do anything, I have to come back sweating. I have to come back literally just drenched in my own bodily fluids. It's just not fun, you know? Just some bad shit. It's a bad funk all over California, this fucking heat wave. So yeah, new intro. We got a new intro from courtesy of Mr. Joe Doherty, from Indy Stockton. You guys might have met him a few times. Some cool shit, dude. He sent us a little clip of him giving us an intro, and that will be the intro from here on out. So deal with it, you fucks. One thing we do have to talk about here. Last time, we featured a song by Knee Deep, and we got their Bandcamp wrong. We totally fucked that up, totally botched it. So if you're looking for Knee Deep's music, weren't able to find it, it's kneedeepca.bandcamp.com. Again, that is kneedeep.bandcamp, or kneedeepca.bandcamp.com. Yeah, that's their actual Bandcamp. Definitely give them a listen, guys. Their Aragod demo is just fucking fantastic. It's a 4-track demo. It's just some really, really, really good power violence. Makes you want to punch people in the face, which all good hardcore music should do. You know, if you don't want to fucking sock someone in the face after you listen to some hardcore, you didn't listen to enough of it, or you listened to the wrong band. You know? Another thing. Master Mode. September 9th. It's a Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. Master Mode. It's gonna be cool shit, dude. 9 bands. Again, there's gonna be 9 bands playing. Totally Out of Place. An unnamed project that we're gonna find out about. North Shore from Comanche. And then Sloom, Eugen, Killer Whale is also gonna be playing. Cardinal Sins and Cheap Shoes. Yeah, those are the bands. But we have to talk about this really quick, guys. Cardinal changed their fucking name. They're now called Cardinal Sins. I think they because they named their EP that Cardinal Sins. And I guess there's just a fuck ton of bands named Cardinal, and they had to change it up. So if you're if you're going to Master Mode, just know they're called Cardinal Sins now. Badass band. Last time I saw them was at the Batcave, and that was a cool ass show. And they played a Linkin Park cover, and it just it fucked my shit up, dog. The Pit really fucked my shit up. I had also had a lot of vodka before that set, but by the end I was just dead, just completely dead. I was a corpse at the end of that show. But it was fun. It was good fun. Another thing for you dirty girls. Follow me on Spotify, yo. You can check out my Spotify page. Check out all the playlists I make. I listen to some wacky shit sometimes, but it's all in good fun. You can follow me at My Name Is Chloe97. Again, that is, My Name Is Chloe97. Chloe is spelled CHLOE. Yeah, give me a follow. You can listen to some fucking Jimi Hendrix with me. And some underachievers. Good shit. And I do follow back occasionally, depending on who you are. Usually do follow back. Some new Totally Out of Place stuff. We got some good shit cooking up for that. You are gonna catch us at Master Mode if you show up early enough. But we just released yesterday. We released a single, as well as a second video in a series of 2 for the single. Released the first video like 3 days ago. And yeah, just decided to put this single out just to let people. I was just gonna do the one cover, the Tennessee Ernie Ford cover, and then just do the video, and then just leave it at that. But I wanted people to be able to listen to it. I wanted people to be able to get the track without having to listen to it on YouTube, because that takes up a shit ton of data. As someone who primarily listens to music on Spotify, do yourself a favor, quit listening to music on YouTube. It takes up so much fucking data. Like, so much. It's just not worth it, But yeah, good shit, dude. I hope you guys really liked the single, those of you who listened to it. Hope you guys liked the videos. They did take a little bit of time to create, so I'm hoping you guys enjoyed them. As well as new Totally Out of Place stuff, we also have some new Pine and Palm stuff coming out. I think it's high time that we mention it, because Cheyenne actually posted about it on her Instagram a few days ago. But yeah, new Pine and Palm stuff in the works. We're actually coming out with a new EP. Don't want to promise a release date, because we're not really entirely sure yet, but look for it, like fall of this year. It's probably going to be sometime in fall of this year. It's going to be super fun. We're going up to record that here pretty soon. It's just going to be good shit, guys. All I'm saying is going to be super good shit. Super tasty music. So I'm a huge fan of Larry David. For those of you who don't know, Larry David obviously was the guy who created Seinfeld. Pretty sure he wrote a good majority of the series too. A lot of people think that Jerry Seinfeld wrote it, and I think he did co-write some episodes, but for the good majority of the series, Larry David did write most of the episodes, and he has a new season of Curb Your Enthusiasm coming out, which I'm super fucking stoked for. Ooh, that was a good one. Just had some eggs and salsa, folks. Cooked it up. It was nice and tasty. But we're definitely gonna have some burps going on here, so you can enjoy that. But yeah, the new Curb season, dude. I'm super fucking stoked for it. I guess they leaked a few episodes online. Like, I guess a few episodes got leaked, but I'm just not even gonna watch it until the season comes out. I want to be surprised. I want to know what Larry's been up to in Paris. What kind of shenanigans he's been up to. But yeah, I'm super fucking stoked for that, dude. It's gonna be funny as fuck. Let's see what else we got here. We got a list of shit we're supposed to be doing. Supposed to be mentioning. Sorry, one sec, guys. Yeah, okay, so next thing we're going to do, we're actually going to do this is going to be the first, segment, so to speak, of this podcast. This is going to be a thing called Things That I Find Trippy. This is shit that I just generally find, to be super psychedelic and super funky and crazy, shit that when I get super baked, this is the shit that I think about, the shit that runs through my mind. We might do another version of it, couple, we'll see how this one works out. But yeah, here's things that I find trippy. Number 1, laugh lines. For those of you who don't know, people, as they grow older and as they smile more often, they develop these lines on the sides of their mouths that kind of are just grooves that over time they just develop in the skin. Not sure how, don't have the science behind that to explain that, but it's pretty fucking trippy, I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty weird. You can basically tell how happy someone's been throughout their whole life just by reading their face, by reading their smile, It's really weird. It's like when you cut down a tree and you count the rings to find out how old the tree is. You can tell how happy someone has been or not happy Like if you see an old person who doesn't have any laugh lines, that means they're just a cranky old bitch, you know? It just means that they have gone their whole life without smiling at anybody, or, you know, it's crazy shit, dude. It's really crazy shit. I've always found that just super trippy. Number two on list of things that I find trippy. Not sure how many of you have read the Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test by Tom Wolfe, but I'm neck deep in it. I'm dick deep in it. And it's just a super trippy book, man. It's about these dudes, or not dudes exclusively, but people, led by this guy named Ken Kesey, and this is a little bit confusing. Tom Wolfe wrote the book Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test about this guy named Ken Kesey, who's also an author, or he was. I'm not sure if he's still alive anymore. I don't know. He might be on the run still. He might be on the run down in Mexico still. But yeah, it's about this dude named Ken Kesey who wrote One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and he also wrote I think the book's called Sometimes a Great Notion. But he's just a super cool author who just took a bunch of LSD, you know, in the 60s and 60s and 70s, and basically created this whole like psychedelic compound down in La Honda, California. He just like congregated a whole bunch of people onto his property that just like were into fucking taking a bunch of acid and like smoking grass all day and like taking speed to fucking they could like, you know, so they like they're like tripping on acid, but then they would take the speed to like focus it to like, so they would have enough focus to do their art and like fucking do all this crazy shit, because they would literally like let me just describe their compound is like the way that Tom Wolfe describes it. Is when you first drive up to the driveway of the property, there's this huge sign out front that says the pranksters, or the merry pranksters, welcome the Hells Angels. And the pranksters obviously were these people who were kind of following Kesey around and doing all this crazy shit. But yeah, the sign was like, the pranksters, the merry pranksters, welcome the Hells Angels. And this was basically because Kesey had fallen in with a bunch of other author types, most notably, obviously, Hunter S. Thompson, who is more or less how I found out about this whole Tom Wolfe thing. I guess Tom Wolfe's a huge liberal now, which kind of is fucking disappointing. But yeah, it's how I found out about this book, was through reading some of Hunter S. Thompson's works. And but yeah, so Kesey fell in with you know, Thompson and all these authors and shit, and they were hanging out with the Hells Angels, mostly because Hunter S. Thompson was writing a book about them called The Hells Angels. Fantastic book, great read. Really sheds a lot of light on the early biker culture and how it kind of developed and shit. But so yeah, they were taking a bunch of acid with these Hells Angels, and so basically what they did to welcome them was just put up this huge sign on their fence, and their fucking neighbors hated it, obviously, because, you know, back then, and even today, people were just fucking terrified of the Hells Angels. For good reason. They do some pretty crazy shit. But, you know, they were basically just hippies on bikes. They were basically just hippie anarchist dudes who fucking loved motorcycles. And, anyhow, so later on, you know, later on they actually put up another sign that said, the Merry Pranksters welcome the Beatles, because they were trying to get the Beatles to show up to their compound and take a shit ton of acid with them. I think like a bunch of Beatles fans did go there, but not the Beatles themselves. You know, if I was playing a show somewhere and somebody was like, "Hey man, you want to come out to the woods to my fucking Dayglow compound and just drop a bunch of acid with me?" I'd probably be like, you know, maybe another time, maybe another time. But yeah, as you drive down this driveway, there's just people would put Dayglow paint all over the trees, like the tree trunks, so everything's just all these fluorescent neon colors, and, you know, they build tree houses and have a bunch of like weird shit hanging up in them, and you go into the house, there's like baby doll parts and fucking, it's just weird shit. But they basically were, what I find so trippy about it is that they basically created this space that like recreates the psychedelic mind state, you know. It's like you walk in and you're instantly tripping. Whether you're, you could be completely stone cold sober, but you walk into this place and it's like you're instantly transported to this mindset, And I really like, it's really inspiring to me to think about the ramifications of like just having a piece of property out in the middle of nowhere, where people just come and, maybe not necessarily trip the fuck out, but like, just having a place where everyone kind of shares things. And he had like at one point like 24 people living there, and they would all just, they'd all just shared whatever they had, and they all contributed, and they all just created art and just fucking made the place look weird, And to some people, obviously, that's gonna be like, why the fuck? I don't want a bunch of, I don't want a bunch of baby parts fucking hanging around my apartment. But like, I just think that's so cool that they would just like, they all just, they would read books together, and they would all sit around Kesey, and he would just talk about shit. It's just weird. It's a cool concept, and I find it really trippy. So yeah, there's number 2. Number 3 on the list of things that I find trippy: alchemy. Do you know what this is, folks? Alchemy is literally, back in the day, I'm not going to try to remember what time period they were doing this in. Actually, I am going to try to remember. It was like the 1400s, I'm pretty sure. Like between 1400s and 1600s. But if I'm wrong, don't quote me on that. I'm wrong about a lot of shit. Pretty much always wrong. But yeah, alchemy was just this weird, like half magic, half science that people were trying to do. They were basically trying to take like lesser metals, like I think it was like flint and coal and all this shit that they were trying to turn into gold, and like gold and silver and shit. They were trying to, and it was like alchemical processes are like supposedly half like magic, half science, because it is based in science. You're working with elements and trying to change the chemical compositions of shit, but it's also like tied into all this like sacred geometry and all this like this mysticism and shit. It's weird. It's really wacky shit. And people would just be getting fucking doped up on mercury and like trying to zone in on the universe, It's just crazy shit, dude. Alchemy is some weird shit. If you get the chance to look into it, I highly recommend you do so, because it is a very strange process. Isaac Newton was a big alchemical guy. He was into alchemy. Number 3, right? Is this number 3? Is this number 4? I don't know. Whatever. Time wave zero. The time wave zero theory. Now I'm gonna try to piece together this theory for you guys, because I honestly am not I'm not an expert on it by any means. And it's a very, 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 very complex subject to try to tackle. So we'll try our best. Basically, from like the 60s to the 90s, there was this dude named Terence McKenna. I think he died in like 2002. This guy named Terence McKenna, he was an art historian. So he went to college for art history. He knew shit tons of stuff about, just like, if you asked him like, what is, just pick a country out of a hat, just at random, and ask him who the best, artist, who the most well-known artist there is. He'd be like, oh yeah, this person from, 700 AD, they did this and this, and it's pretty crazy shit, dude. He was a really, really intelligent guy. He died from like a brain schism, or like a brain thing, like a brain fissure. I don't know, but he died from some brain shit, which was really, really sad. There's actually on YouTube, if you go on YouTube, there's a video of him in his last interview before he like knew he was gonna die. He was pretty well aware of the fact that he had this brain shit, and he knew he was gonna die. And just hearing him talk at the end of his life about just all this crazy shit, it's really wacky stuff. It's really wacky. You should check it out if you get the time. So what this guy did, he eventually came up with, and I'm not going to go too much into the stoned ape theory because that's a whole nother subject, but he came up with this theory of, primates in their development from being primates to humans in sub-Saharan Africa. He theorized that all these primates took mushrooms, psilocybin mushrooms, that they found from, chasing around herds of fucking cattle or whatever they were hunting at the time, the bison. And they would flip over these cow turds and find, psilocybin mushrooms, and that's basically, he theorized, that this was the evolutionary step of, doubling the fucking primate brain growth. Psilocybin mushrooms also help with, like, visual acuity, and just other shit like that. So he theorized that, but what he also theorized was this time wave zero thing. And this is kind of what I find the trippiest, is he theorized that basically the universe is a novelty-creating machine. And by novelty, he means, like complexity. It's a novelty as it further crystallizes itself, just gets more and more complex, right? So at the beginning of the universe, obviously the most agreed upon theory, I believe, is the Big Bang Theory. That the universe was, at one point, smaller than the head of a pin, and just super hot and dense, and then it exploded into all this shit, So it made stars, and stars collided, and fucking, black holes, and, planets started forming, and then, Earth formed, and then, people, or, life came to Earth however it did, and then people developed, and then culture developed, and then, technology developed. It's just these further and further crystallizations of this concept of novelty, just furthering the crystallization of just complexity, and life organizes itself into higher and higher orders of this complexity. So what time wave zero is this novelty, this complexity reaching its ultimate point. And he based this off of this Chinese script called the I Ching. Not even gonna try to decipher that because it's super fucking it's super out there, man. But yeah, he basically developed, apparently, he was calculating it for the end date being the December 21st, 2012 thing. That wasn't like the big thing that people were focusing on for that date, but he definitely did theorize that was the date that this ultimate novelty crystallization thing would happen. And so, yeah, it's pretty much been discredited. Pretty much every major scientist is going to tell you, yeah, he was just taking a bunch of mushrooms. He didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. And I partially agree. I pretty much like 80% agree. But I also do think it is interesting to think about, the fact that from what we've observed of the universe, at least, it does seem to be organizing itself into these higher and higher orders of complexity, Just the fact that, like in the 1950s, they didn't even have cell phones. That was 60 years ago. Excuse me, like 67 years ago. In the grand scale of time in this universe, it's not a whole lot. 67 years is practically nothing. And, we already have these computers in our pockets that we can fucking just, we can go, hey Siri, how many wrinkles does Oprah Winfrey have on her asshole? And Siri's just gonna Siri's gonna give you an answer. Probably not. She probably doesn't have the right answer for that one, but it's just super weird to think about. We see just from what we've observed. If you watched Planet Earth from afar and you watched this this timescape, you saw a bunch of time passing by. You just saw the evolution of cultures and, saw history passing by. You would basically see these creatures, people, you would see us just organizing ourselves more and more into complex shit, and eventually launching, things off the Earth and launching something to the moon. And we even, we've shot Voyager 2 is like way the fuck out there in the universe right now, or in our galaxy. I don't think it's exited our galaxy yet. But yeah, it's just crazy shit, dude. We keep getting more and more advanced, and it seems like, at some point it has to reach some kind of pinnacle, right? It's got to be driving towards something. And that also, I should mention, that's a pretty big part of his theory, is that he says instead of, most historians look at history as events in the present being pushed by events in the past. Everything that has happened is driving what's happening now. But what he theorizes is that there's this object at the end of time that's kind of gravitationally pulling us towards something, and that's why all this shit seems to be, crystallizing and getting more and more towards, it feels like it's going towards something, He called it the eschaton at the end of time, that is literally pulling us through time and space. Maybe not space, maybe not physical space, but pulling us through time towards something, toward this time wave zero. And yeah, it's just fucking trippy, man. It's just crazy shit. It's weird, wild, out there stuff. Another thing that I find trippy. Another one. We don't take care of our water, man. We only have like, I think it's like 18% of the water that we can, the fresh water on planet Earth that we can actually drink, that hasn't been contaminated by fucking, waste and, animal carcasses, and isn't frozen in glaciers and shit. Excuse me. God damn. But it's just really weird to me that, it's H2O is fucking essential to life. It's, to life as we know it on this planet, it's completely essential. You can't live without it. And we don't take care of it. We literally, President Trump right now, or not right now, but he has been cutting back on all this EPA shit and, letting people start dumping shit again and just all this crazy shit, man. We need that water. We literally need it. If it's gone, we're dead. We're fucked. We're not making any more of it, And, it's just crazy to me. We don't take care of our water. Most of the water on planet Earth is in the fucking oceans. It's all salt water. We can't do shit with that. Well, we could. I mean, there is like, I think they do like desalination, but they have desalination plants and shit. But it's just not enough, man. It's just not enough water. And, I think it's just fucking trippy, we should be fighting against that first and foremost. Everybody should be like, hey, stop fucking with the water. We need that. What is it, like 8 million people die every year from no clean drinking water? Google that. You know what? Tell me if I'm wrong. Go down in the comments and tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the statistic is 8 million people die every year from not having any clean drinking water. Why? Because it's not profitable to give the water to them. It's not. Nobody's gonna profit from just bringing a bunch of bottled water over to fucking, wherever they need it. Nobody's doing that because there's no money in it. It's just fucking. It's asinine. It's just super asinine, dog. Last thing on the list of things that I find trippy. We have dropped 2 nuclear bombs on this planet. Now just think about that. If you've ever seen footage of a nuclear bomb going off, it is the most horrifying thing. It's literally, and spoiler alert, to everyone who hasn't watched the new season of Twin Peaks yet, this is a huge fucking spoiler. So you're gonna want to skip like a good few minutes till I'm done talking about this. They're basically I think it was like episode 15 of season 3 of Twin Peaks. They were talking about, or they're not even talking about because there was barely any dialogue in the episode, but it was referencing, us testing nuclear bombs, and that this basically creates this evil force in the show known as Bob, or the Black Lodge, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what the fuck it is. We really don't know what it is yet at all. But you know, they're basically postulating, I think that's the word, that the creation of the atomic bomb, the testing of the first, you know, bomb that we dropped to test, the first time we split the atom, you know, that was the creation of all of mankind's suffering. You know, obviously mankind suffered before that, but it's like this creation of this manifestation of just supernatural evil, you know. But I think that's really true. I think that the culmination of every wrong thing that humanity has done up until this point can be embodied by the nuclear bomb. We've dropped 2 of them on people. We dropped 2 of them on people. Not even just, you know, we did some tests out in the Nevada deserts, and there was also this I think it was like island of Kiwi or some shit, Tiki Kiwi, I don't know, some island. We tested some fucking bombs out there too, and all these animals got fucked up. All these sailors and shit were experiencing problems from, you know, observing the fucking nuclear bomb. And it's just like, dude, we literally use that to win a war. We use that to kill people. You know, can you just imagine one day you're walking home, you know, you picked up some condoms because you're going to go home and fuck your wife. I don't know why you would need condoms to fuck your wife. You're doing whatever you do on a normal day. You're just walking around doing that, and all of a sudden you hear, and your life is over. Your life is done. You're never going to exist again. It's just done. Your whole life is done. You know? And I don't know if nuclear bombs actually make that noise. It might just be in the Wile E. Coyote fucking cartoons, but, you know, you just see this thing fall from the sky, this fucking atomic death machine plummeting from the sky, and it's just like, oh, what's that? Boom. Done. It's over. Everything in 100-mile radius is over. You know? Of all the bad shit that the U.S. has done, of all the bad shit, that to me is like, because somebody had to, you know, I think it was Truman who dropped the bomb, or was it Roosevelt? It might have been Teddy Roosevelt. It was either Teddy Roosevelt or Harry Truman who dropped the bombs. And, you know, somebody had to bring that up, be like, hey, you know, to win this war, we could drop those fucking bombs that we've been creating, that we, you know, have made to split atoms, you know. Because prior to that, the smallest thing was the atom. Atom in Greek or Latin or some fucking dead language basically means the indivisible, you know. So it's something that cannot be divided. It's the smallest thing known to man. And then we divided that. And what happens when you split the atom is everything dies. When you split the atom, everything around you dies. And, you know, they saw that. They saw that's what happens. You know, they tested it a few times. They were like, oh shit, this literally just blows everything up. And, you know, they were like, well, we're fighting this war right now. You know, we could just drop 2 of those on them. They'd probably give up, right? They'd probably just give up the war. And they sure did, because holy fuck, dude. Nagasaki and Hiroshima, we just completely fucked their whole shit up with Fat Man and Little Boy. I think those were the names of the nuclear bombs, Fat Man and Little Boy. But yeah, man, just in terms of all the evil shit that the U.S. has done, the U.S. has done a lot of evil shit. And, I don't want to get, like, super political on this podcast, on this episode, because we did get a little political last episode. But just of all the fucked up shit, dude, we dropped 2 nuclear bombs. 2 atomic bombs. And, you know, if we got bombs dropped on us here, if somebody dropped a nuke on us here, there's no limit to what Trump would do. You know? He'd probably just declare a whole police state on the entire world. He'd probably just be like, alright, everybody has to do what I say. If you don't do what I say, we're just going to shoot you. Because you might drop another nuclear bomb. You know, he's so authoritarian with his whole shit that he's doing that I sincerely wouldn't doubt it. He would just be like, all right, everybody's on lockdown. You know what? He would meet with a bunch of the world powers, all the fucking richest people in the world, and you know whoever's in charge of the UN or whatever. He'd meet with everybody and be like, look, we have to just make everybody everybody's on lockdown. Everybody's got to wear an ankle bracelet. Everybody's got to, he'd probably reinstate prima nocta. He'd probably start fucking everybody's wife. Anyhow, it's just super trippy to me. That's why I wanted it to be the last in this segment of things that I find trippy. It's just super crazy, man. We've killed so many people as a nation, but we literally dropped two things that just create utter devastation. Ugh. It's just ugly. It's just ugly shit. But yeah, that's things that I find trippy. Thank you for listening. Next up, we have a thingy to read. Really quickly, I will be right back, folks. I might just edit out the audio of me leaving for a second because I gotta go grab something. But yeah, I'll be right back. Alrighty, I'm back. Ugh. So for those of you who don't know my brother Miller, I do have a little brother named Miller. This dude has a theory about lava, and I just want to share it with you guys because it's really eye-opening, man. He really busted shit open with this one. Let me read it to you. He's got it written in this notebook here. He says, if lava is 25,000 degrees Fahrenheit, then I think instead of lava being hot, I think it's cold. I think it's so hot it's cold. And the steam is generated from the crevices and cracks in the volcano, then is circled out of a northern crevice or crack, like the heart axe. And the cold dissolves things like heat. So instead of lava being 25,000 degrees Fahrenheit, it's 25,000 Celsius, which means how hot it feels is the frostbite reaching, and is the reason if you dipped iron in it would be super hot from the frostbite. Really fucking eye-opening stuff, guys. Really just revolutionary. I think science is going to take a huge turn for the better because of this. And you heard it here. You heard it here first. If you're listening on SoundCloud or YouTube or anywhere else, I'm pretty sure I'm going to just stick to SoundCloud and YouTube for now. But yeah, man, if you're listening right now, you just got let in on some super confidential shit. And this lava theory, this is going to shake up science for decades to come. Lava is so hot that it's cold. My little brother's just a badass. I was looking through his notebook. That's actually where I found this thing. And he's just drawn, red and black flags, and just he drew a thing that was like, it said capitalism, and it had like a money sign with a like a line through it, like the Ghostbusters line through it. It's just cool, man. He's a badass. He doesn't give a fuck. He gives even less of a fuck than I do, which I didn't know was possible. So I'm glad I could share this with you guys. It's very important stuff. So yeah. Before we go to questions, we are gonna play a song. This time the song is a Cheap Shoes song. Local Legends Cheap Shoes. Again, you can find them. You can see them next Saturday at Master Mode. It's going to be fantastic times. This is called Ace Balthazar Lives.
Living, living, living,
fucking hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. You know? Again, that was Cheap Shoes, Ace Balthazar Lives. I believe that's on the That's Life EP, pretty sure. One of the reasons that I mentioned the nuclear bomb thing in things that I find trippy is because this song that I just played seriously just reminds me of, like, the utter devastation of, like, a wasted nuclear landscape. You know what I mean? Like the moments after a bomb drops, like a nuclear bomb, that's what I envision plays. Just this utter fucking chaotic destruction, you know? It's really brutal. It's a really desolate, brutal sound. If you dig that kind of shit, definitely check them out. Again, you can catch them at Master Mode, September 9th, at the Slaughterhouse. Check the pages. You know where to find them. You know what's up. I'm pretty sure you guys know what's up for Master Mode. You know, you can just look it up on Facebook. You know, you can just look up in the events on Facebook, you know, details for Master Mode. So we do have a bunch of questions. I want to thank everybody really quick. I do really want to thank everybody who listens, and who's been giving me questions. You guys really do ask me some cool ass questions, and I enjoy doing this. I really enjoy doing the podcast. So if you've stayed this long, you've stayed through the break, and you're here for the questions, I just want to thank you guys. Seriously gives me a lot of inspiration. So first, we're actually going to go with some questions from the man himself, Matt Mua. He actually plays guitar in Cheap Shoes, but he DM'd me some questions. I want to just get to them because he asked me some really good questions. First and foremost, why do people not like sushi but like to eat hot dogs, aka blended animal lips and assholes? You know, I like sushi better than hot dogs. I'm not gonna lie. Hot dogs are okay. I do recognize that they are blended lips and assholes. And the part of me that wants to go vegan, wants to go full vegan, really does recognize that that's fucking wrong. That we just cut assholes and lips off of animals and blend them up and package them into little sausages. You know, it's fucking wrong. You know, obviously sushi, we're killing fish. But, it's not as humiliating to the animal, you know? I think it's just less humiliating. But personally, I do like the taste of sushi better. And you know, actually, I think to me, my personal opinion is, or my personal opinion on why people like it more is advertising, dog. You know, hot dogs have been advertised as this, like, you know, this American, like, it's like a pseudo-nationalist food, you know? And, the sushi, you know, I don't even think there was a sushi restaurant in the United States till, like, the 70s. You know, it was like a while before it even got here. So, you know, I think it's partially due to that, partially due to advertising. But, yeah, it's baffling. Why do people want to eat animal assholes, dude? Why do they want to do that? Not to kink shame anybody who's into bestiality, although I do kind of think it's wrong, because I don't think animals can consent at all. But I'm not here to kink shame anyone, you know? Why is it that some of us who got bullied in high school for wearing tight pants or having holes in our jeans were getting picked on for wearing it, but now every fucking franchise store has ripped jeans? Same goes for the street punk kids like me who had studded jackets. You know, kids in high school just want to fit in. They just want to find the kid that doesn't fit in and pick on him because, you know, they want to be part of the crowd. They want to be part of the cool, you know, only the cool people are always the bullies, you know. The people who are total dicks are the ones who end up with the most friends by the end of high school. So, you know, and I mean, I got bullied simply just because I just wore jeans and a t-shirt during high school. I wasn't like super punk or anything, but at the high school that I went to, it was basically like if you listen to anything other than country or what was on pop radio, you're just a fucking weirdo. You're gonna be an outcast. So, you know, naturally the few kids who did listen to shit like The Descendants and like, you know, Black Flag and that kind of shit, like, you know, we kind of banded together. So, you know, kids are just bullies. Kids just do fucked up shit, man. They don't know any better. Do you think Pine and Palm will do one last EP? Yeah, like I mentioned, it's not going to be our last EP. I don't know why you think that, but it's definitely going to be our next EP. And believe me, we've got lots of good shit cooking up for Pine and Palm. We have been taking a tad bit of a break, I guess, just because we all just are super fucking busy. And you know, we've been preparing for this EP and just, you know, nailing shit in. But yeah, it's just schedule conflicts. We're gonna link up here again, and trust me, there's gonna be lots of cool Pine and Palm dinglies for your danglies in the next in the next couple months, and the next few years, and possibly the next few lifetimes. Do you remember when music was somewhat segregated or separated into cliques? I mean, like I said, you know, at my high school there definitely was, like, the punk kids, quote unquote. But, you know, I mean, we live in a different time. You know, back like in the 80s and shit, it was like, you know, if you had long hair, you'd get punched in the face because, like, you fucking glam metal, like, you know. It's not as cliquey anymore. I feel like, especially in the we're pretty lucky here in the Central Valley because we've fostered this music community that's super open, you know, open-armed. We kind of listen to everything. The punk kids are listening to Mac Dre, and, you know, the rap dudes fucking get down with the hardcore kids, and, you know, everybody loves Woody Guthrie. You know, it's just a mashup. Nobody gives a fuck anymore. And it's cool. That's what's cool about our scene, you know? The scene that we've cultivated is super honest and true, because it's like everybody just digs. Everybody just digs it, man. I mean, you look at Rudy. Excuse me, Goodface, local rapper Goodface, who hopefully I will have on the podcast for a musical appearance. But you look at him, man. He wears a fucking battle vest. He wears a vest with a bunch of patches and shit, dude. Everybody's all the music groups are more or less becoming incestuous now. They're all becoming one another, and it's cool. I like it. How do you feel about How do you feel about click tracks for recording? I can take them or leave them. I mean, you know, it just kind of depends on the style you're doing. I mean, more often than not, I am going to use a click track just because, you know, just keep on rhythm. And for all the Pine and Palm shit, we definitely do record to click tracks because we want it all syncopated and even and shit. But I mean, the single I just dropped for Totally Out of Place definitely didn't use a click track for that, just because it's a different style. It's supposed to be, you know. Damn, I'm so sorry, guys. It's supposed to be kind of a colder, more, you know, more dusty atmosphere, I guess. I don't know. But, you know, I can take them or leave them. I think that rock and roll is supposed to have mistakes, you know? Rock and roll is about making mistakes and having so much attitude that you just don't give a fuck. That you just completely, you know... It's just... I mean, obviously, if you want the best rhythm, you want the best, you know, you want on-point, sharp beats, you know, obviously use a click track, but it just depends. It really just depends. Is Fergie a gender? Yes. CD, tape, or vinyl? I mean, out of those three, definitely vinyl. I don't listen to CDs anymore. I think they're complete shit. I think the fact that every time you listen to a CD, it gets a little bit shittier, you know, and I mean, that happens to vinyls and tapes too, but at least they have kind of a signature sound to them, you know. CDs sound like digital copies of songs, but they skip, and they, you know, I don't know. I just hate CDs, and the little click clacky cases they come with. and they break, and they, you leave them on the floor of your car, and your friend steps on them after he's getting in drunk as fuck at a McDonald's. CDs just suck. I hate them. and that's coming from someone who used to have a humongous CD collection. And it's a shame. They're going out of style now. I work at a record store, dog, or at least part-time I do. And I can see already, like, the CD industry is completely dead. So yeah, I do definitely like vinyl the best out of those three. But I do have a soft spot in my heart for tape, just because, I love the hiss of it, and, it pops every once in a while, and it squeals when you fast forward, and, it just has a cool tint to it, And I definitely, speaking of being totally outcasted during high school, I used to drag around a cassette tape player and listen to my music on that while everyone was listening to iPhones and shit, And that definitely got me a lot of stares. But I just love tape, dude. I love tapes. Anytime someone's, I buy vinyl, if, when I'm going to the record store, most of the shit that I'm looking through is going to be the vinyl. But if someone hands me a tape, if someone's playing a show and they have free tapes, I'm definitely taking one. I have a pretty good tape collection going, too. I actually have, like, 75, 80 tapes. What are your dream guitars? My ultimate dream guitar of all time definitely is a Tony Iommi Gibson SG. It's just the best guitar ever made. It's just simply for all styles. You can play jazz on it. You can play death metal on it. You can, do Sabbath style crunchy rock. You can do everything. It's a very versatile guitar, and it looks beautiful. Some other guitars that I really want. For the death metal shit, I do definitely want a Gibson Thunder Horse. Those things are just fucking beautiful. They're the guy who does Metalocalypse or Deathclock. If you listen to the band, he does the guitar and vocals for Deathclock too. But he designed the Gibson Thunder Horse, and it's just such a fucking beautiful guitar. And the frets just. It's so buttery, dude. Just watch a demo of it if you can on YouTube. It's so great. And an American Strat. If I had the money for an American Strat, I'd fucking buy one. I love Strats. Don't really know what color I would get. I don't really care that much about the color. Just the neck of a Strat, of an American Strat, is just mwah. It's just beautiful. You know what? Probably an all-white one, like the fucking like the Wayne's World Strat, because I could give a shit less about your opinions. Tell us some cool stories. No, I don't have any cool stories. What's your favorite desert island band? I assume that means, more or less like a band that I could listen to on a desert island, and not get sick of. Probably Sabbath. Elton John. Elton John's another one that I could definitely listen to all fucking day and never get bored. Probably Sabbath. I'm gonna go with Sabbath. So yeah, that's all the questions from Matt Mua. So, we'll go to the Pine Box post on my page. AJ Winchester asks, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could ever give a fuck? Obviously the answer to that is, bitch suck dick, motherfuck you and your opinions. It's a Tyler song, for anybody who's confused by that. I love you, Al. I hope you're doing okay. Hope you're doing well. And thanks for listening. Samuel asks, why did R. Kelly pee on that girl? Yeah, that's a good question, man. I don't know, every once in a while you just gotta piss on your girl's face, You just gotta lay a golden shower on her. Not if she's underage. R. Kelly definitely fucked up there because I'm pretty sure the girl was underage. But you know, if your chick's into it, sprinkle her with some piss, dude. You know, got to do it every once in a while. What's your favorite taco truck? I will answer that with not a taco truck, but it is my favorite food truck. There's this Greek food truck right by the fire station on Hammer, I believe. Yeah, it's on Hammer. Yeah, phenomenal Greek food, dude. If you ever stop there for a gyro, ooh, it's so good. It's so good. They also do vegan shit. That's the coolest part. They do vegan Greek food. Just really good shit, dude. Really good shit, and not too expensive. It's not too bad. I wish I could remember the name of it because I want to drive some business in there. If you guys would go buy some food, but I can't remember the fucking name. But yeah, it's a great Greek food place. Definitely give it a whirl. Giovanni asks, "What is your dream band lineup?" Fuck, dude. That's a hard one. Tony Iommi would definitely be playing, he'd definitely be on guitar. I'd have Jimmy on lead guitar. He'd be playing lead guitar, Jimi Hendrix. And then I'd get Thurston Moore to do some vocals. I'd have Kim Gordon play bass and do vocals with him, because she's just punk as fuck. Kim Gordon is just my fucking spirit animal, dude. I wish I was Kim Gordon. On drums, let's see. I don't know. Fuck. This is a really hard question. Get back to me on the drummer. But the keyboardist would be the dude who keyboards for Chicano Batman, whoever the fuck that is. But his keyboard work is A+. God damn, I don't really know. I don't have like a favorite drummer really. I don't know. The dude from the Flat Duo Jets. Fuck it. Let's go with the dude from the Flat Duo Jets. Mr. Seth, who was on the podcast last time, non-consensually, he asks, if the moon was made out of barbecue spare ribs, would you eat it? Of course I would. Of course I would. You know, if I had a way to get there, if they were going to launch me up in a spacesuit that, you know, I could harvest some of the spare ribs out of the moon, you know, get it into my suit somehow and then eat it, I would definitely. I'd eat the whole thing. I'd keep going back up day after day just for the buffet of it, you know. How many, Nelson from Cheap Shoes asks, how many chicken wings can you eat in one sitting? Not a whole lot, Nelson. Not a whole lot. I'm not a huge competition eater guy. I tried to do the Blazin' Challenge. I was working at Buffalo Wild Wings for a while. Tried to do the Blazin' Challenge. I ate two. Ate 2 wings. And also, some of you guys might have seen that me and the MJ boy, the big red dong, we stopped by Wingstop the other day and got some wings. I ate like 3. I ate like 3 or 4 of them, and they were good. Wingstop definitely has some great sauces, but you know, it's just I'm not a huge eater, and it's, you know, people who look at me are probably gonna be like, yeah, right, because I'm fat as fuck. But I generally really don't have a huge appetite, unless I'm baked, of course. Unless I'm baked. Garrett asks, who's the best Becky? I don't know what the fuck that means, but I'm gonna assume you're asking who is the best person named Becky, and that would be my grandma, who passed away in 2008. Her name was Becky. She was a fantastic person. Made the best damn cookies you will eat in your entire life. Jesse asks, can you explain why Lars Ulrich's drums on Saint Anger were somehow worse than even everything else he's ever done? I choose to believe that he was on hardcore drugs during that period in his career. I'm of the opinion that he was just smoking some loud meth, and when he when he came into the studio, he was just like, Let's just use a garbage can, dog. Let's just, get the snare stand out of here. Let's put a garbage can right here. And, slapped a tiny bit of reverb on it. And there you go. There's Saint Anger. Little known fact, actually, on that album, there were no guitars or vocals or bass. There was only Lars Ulrich's garbage can. That's the only instrument on that entire album. Fun fact. Olivia Laval asks, did Neil Armstrong fake the 1969 moon landing? No, he didn't. God damn it, you fucking conspiracy theorists with your fucking did they fake the moon landing shit. No, they didn't. We went to the moon, god damn it. It's true. It's made of spare ribs, didn't you know? Joe, who did the intro for this podcast, asks, would you try to match the Ranger with a big iron on his hip? Absolutely not. I would never even attempt to, The guy rode into Agua Fria one fine day, and he didn't speak to many people around him. He didn't have too much to say, but he did have a big iron on his hip, and I'm not gonna fuck with someone who has a big iron on their hip or a big iron anywhere. If someone's carrying around a big iron, just don't fuck with them. Don't try to match the Ranger. Maria asks, Lexus asks, is mayonnaise an instrument? Sure, If you write a song using mayonnaise, then it's an instrument. Fuck the system. They're gonna tell you it's not. But, they don't know shit. They really just don't know shit. I'm gonna take a quick selfie for the old Instagrams. Just to fuck around, folks. We do need to update the Pine and Palm, the Pine Box podcast, motherfucking Instagram. So yeah, we're gonna take this little selfie here. There we go. And yeah, beautiful. That's beautiful. It's beautiful shit, dude. Go to the Pine Box podcast. You can follow me on Instagram at the Pine Box podcast, and check out this selfie I just took. You guys are in it. Lol, just kidding. But yeah, let me go to my other Instagram so I can get to the other questions. Thank you so much for putting up with the unprofessionality of this fucking podcast. We are a one-man operation here, and we try to do the best we can with what we got. So here's the rest of the questions. Cheyenne asks, what is the secret to your famous baguette? I can't tell you, or else it's not, it's not a secret. It's not a secret if, you tell people. But I will give you a hint. It's fun to stay at the... There you go. Alex asks, what's the secret formula to the Krabby Patty? Mr. Krabs actually adds a gram of crack to every Krabby Patty. Keep people coming back. Keep people shelling out those dollars. What do they use in Bikini Bottom? They use like sand dollars. I don't know. That whole show is based off of puns and weird aquatic animal facts. But yeah, he puts crack in them. That's the secret ingredient. The best thing about it, really. And yeah, that's all the questions. I do want to say one thing right here, really quick here. Now that we're done with that, we're gonna end on a kind of a sad note. My buddy of mine, Vinny, actually passed away pretty recently. He was actually murdered in his home in Staten Island, and he was just a fantastic soul, man. Just a fantastic, beautiful dude who loved everyone he came in contact with. Some fucking douches fucking killed him for some pot. It's so stupid, dude. And I just wanted to say rest in peace to him. I just wanted to give my condolences to his family, because it's seriously just a sad situation. If any of you guys are on the It's Always Sunny shitposting page on Facebook, it's only for nerds. It's for nerdy people who don't give a fuck about, being totally socially inept. But you know, he was a big contributor there. Always had some dank ass memes. Always you know, was willing to. One time I was having problems with an ex-girlfriend of mine, and he was just super compassionate, you know. I barely even knew the guy. I only knew him through Instagram or through Facebook and the meme page. And you know, he literally set down everything. He was like busy at work, and he set down everything just to talk to me and like, you know, just make sure I was okay. He was just this fucking the kindest soul you could ever meet, and it's sincerely a tragedy that he's gone. So you know, everybody who knew him or knew him from Facebook, you know, my arms are outstretched to you. Yeah, we loved you, Vinny. You went too soon, man. We'll all smoke lots of dabs and make some dank-ass memes in your memory. And, yeah, thank you so much to everybody for listening. You guys are all fantastic. Keep up the good work. Keep sucking as many dicks as you want. Don't let them tell you you can't. You know, it's not against the law. At least not yet. So, yeah. Thanks, dudes. Peace out.